watching Cigar Nerds podcast. I'm your host, Smokin' Joe.
And I'm your fill-in co-host, Ginger. This is how it's gonna go.
The Ginger Avenger.
There you go. Oh yes, very nice. I need a monster.
So, what am I smoking this week since Brad's not here and you didn't go get a cigar? I'm smoking the Notorious by Conor McGregor.
Conor McLeod of the Clan McLeod.
No. Do you even know who Conor McGregor is?
No. I went on a whole different tangent. I'm talking about there can be only one.
Highlander?
Yes, that would be it.
Well, this is not that episode. We are
attacked.
Anyway, I'm smoking the Conor McGregor's Notorious, one of the latest celebrity blends of cigars. This guy has a...
Oh, he's a UFC guy, right?
Yes. Could I finish the fucking description?
Oops. Oops. My bad. My bad.
Anyway, yes, a Ecuadorian Habano 2000 Rosado Oscuro wrapper that's been aged 4 years over a Mexican San Andreas binder with a filler blend of Jalapa Valley, San Victor, Dominican Republic, and Villa Gonzalez, Dominican Republic tobaccos. That is a lot of words.
What valley? Jalapa? Is that what you said?
Mm-hmm.
Jalapa.
Yes.
Okay.
In Nicaragua. But yes, you were right. Conor McGregor is a quite famous UFC fighter.
Okay.
Who has a fairly decent Scotch brand, and now he's delved into cigars.
What's the name of his Scotch brand?
Proper 12.
Interesting.
Yeah, I did a shot of that.
I don't know if I've ever seen that before.
That's the shot I did on the day I earned my black belt.
Oh, okay.
At the,
okay. At the hibachi place?
Yeah. And surprisingly, because I've had a couple other celebrity cigars, and they've not all been that great, but this one has, a decent amount of flavor. He's definitely, I guess, or at least whoever's making these cigars for him did their did their homework and gave him a good blend.
You can't be a UFC guy and make pussy cigars. It doesn't work.
I mean, it's possible.
Okay, but you shouldn't.
You said
the Scotch was good when you did it that night, so.
Yeah, Scotch was pretty good too. But yeah, so I've completely lost my train of thought now.
Good job. Well done.
Starting to think like doing a solo show when Brad's out of town might be a better.
That's not. I'm hilarious.
At least in the first part of the show when I'm trying to give information and whatnot.
Well, hurry up.
So, this week we're going back to the 80s, and if you haven't guessed our topic by the box that's on the table for those y'all watching on YouTube, it's the 40th anniversary of a little movie called The Goonies.
Jesus, we're old. We're so old. We're the Goonies generation, actually. Did you know that? Hypothetically, that's what we're called.
Well, I'm so old that this fancy box that I have on the table is actually a 25th anniversary Blu-ray. And now it's the 40th anniversary.
Yeah, but they don't actually make movies you can own anymore like that.
I've had that box for 15 years at this point, if my math is mathing. And if you need to fight off the Fratellis, you should call in the Strike Force. StrikeForceEnergy.com. Promo code CigarNerds gets you 20% off your order. Get all jacked up on that caffeine and go look for buried treasure.
Hey, you guys.
So with that, we're going to get right back into the show. And welcome back. Shiver me timbers. We're going to talk about some piratey things.
You should walk the plank.
It's this Conor McGregor cigar. It's got to be going a wee bit Irish. And Irish is not one of my best accents.
No.
Faith and Begorra.
You're better at Ruski. Much better at Ruski.
Where's me Lucky Charms?
No. Don't do it.
Did you ever see the off topic new record? 3 seconds in, and we're already on a tangent.
That ain't new.
The Roadhouse reboot remake.
No.
Oh yeah, Conor McGregor's in that. He's
fucking blasphemy.
He's the villain, and he is like coked out of his mind in that movie. He is a madman. It makes an excellent bad guy in a film.
See, this is so weird for me. I don't know how you smoke without like lighting your filter on fire.
It's called situational awareness.
ADHD. I don't have that.
And it's also, this is 257 episodes at this point.
Is that a true number, or are you guessing?
No, this will be episode 257 when it comes up.
Oh, okay. What are we doing for episode 300 then?
We're going to build a nuclear weapon in the garage.
Okay.
What the hell was that?
There was a nuclear weapon built in a garage, and it was a movie?
Yeah.
I don't remember that movie.
With, is it Manhattan Project?
I don't know.
It's Matthew Broderick, like a young Matthew Broderick.
Building a nuclear weapon in a garage.
Yes, as a science project.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Well, hold on a second and I can tell you. To the Googles.
Well, while you're Googling that, I'm going to talk about the actual thing we're supposed to be talking about this week. Goonies.
You're the one that went off.
The 40th anniversary of kind of, at least us in our 40s,
Is this
big
old
childhood movie? Well, yes.
War Games?
No.
Project X?
No. Again, not the topic we're talking about. That's something we can figure out later.
You started it.
I know you're ADHD. Something you've got to go down the rabbit hole,
Squirrel.
like, and answer the question.
Something shiny. Look at all the pretty colors.
So yeah, directed by Richard Donner.
That
What?
bug is out to get me. There's a bug. It keeps attacking me. It flies right here between my eyeballs each time. There it went. I'm not crazy. I know what I'm saying. There's an insect attacking me. It keeps coming at my face. Mind your business. Mind your business. Go on with the show. On with the show.
I'm trying to, and you're in here like having a fucking
Yes.
acid trip. How much caffeine have you had?
Only 1 cup of coffee. And now a Monster.
Yes, but by cup you mean a 32 ounce, like.
Tumbler, yes.
That's not a cup.
That is a cup.
That's like 4.
No, that's a cup.
No.
8 ounces of coffee is not even, that doesn't count. It's 32 ounces of coffee. That's what it's supposed to be.
You know they measure like cups of coffee in like 6 ounces.
But they're wrong.
Oh, Jesus, this is going to be a long hour.
How big is your tumbler sitting over there? I believe it's 32 ounces as well.
Yeah, but it's not full. I have 2 cups of coffee in it.
Then you're doing it wrong.
Anyway, yes. Released in June 1985.
Mm-hmm. I think that, actually,
was
my
6
sister was
then.
born.
I'm an old man. I was 6 back in 1985.
Yep, that's the year my sister was born.
And this is one of those movies that going back and rewatching it as an adult, it's way dirtier than I remembered as a child.
Yeah,
I just did
were.
not get like half of the jokes that that they slipped in there.
If
back
God
then.
had put it on that way, you'd piss in your own face.
No, it was before that. Is when Data comes sliding in on the
Trip line or zip line or something.
Yeah, and then breaks the Michael statue.
That's
Or-
David.
Whatever. Michelangelo.
Yes, but the statue is David.
Anyway, broke David's dick off, and one of the kids like, dude, that's Mom's favorite part.
Of course it is.
That and the
As it
question
should
I
be.
asked you when we were rewatching. How old were you when you figured out One-Eyed Willie was a penis joke?
Much older than I should be now. I was this old. Yeah, but a lot of like movies that were marketed to kids had a lot of adult humor in them.
I mean, hell, Animaniacs, had
Animaniacs had
a lot of adult
humor.
humor.
Hello,
hidden.
nurse.
Just the fingerprints joke always
I don't know
correct.
that one.
Oh, you don't remember that?
No.
They're playing detectives and they're looking. One of them's like, "We got to look for Prince," and Dot's like, "Found him," and she's holding Prince, the singer, and he's like, "No, fingerprints," and she looks at him and Prince smiles. She's like, "I don't think so."
Yeah, okay, so there was a lot of... We just counted on children to be stupid back then. Children are stupid. They don't understand. It's fine. What gets to me is that a bunch of boys glued the penis upside down. That's what the part that gets to... Like, y'all are all male. Y'all all have this equipment, and you glued it upside down.
I mean, it did kind of look like it had an erection. And being teen boys, they're probably used to seeing
True.
that
Yeah,
more.
okay. I'll give you that one. Good job on the justification.
Yeah.
There.
That's one of the things before we get into like actual details
Did you
of this
shut
movie.
down? What happened?
I had to reboot. There was some lag,
Buffering.
but it's one thing I appreciate about this movie is even though it's a Spielberg movie, the kids talked like kids of that era. They didn't, try to nicen them up for camera. They're saying shit and balls and talking like, me and my friends did when there was no adults around.
Well, we all did that. We were all perverted, disgusting creeps when no adults were around. Of course, I was hanging out with you and your friends, so that might be the problem.
But, I mean, most films, they, try to...
Clean up the language?
Kids speak like their dialogue was written by adults instead of speaking like actual teenagers of the day.
It's kind of funny you said that because we're sitting here watching Goonies and we were watching Doctor Who last night. And, like, the whole world is falling apart, but everybody's still incredibly polite. Very polite.
Well, they're English. That's normal.
Everybody's so polite, and there's fire and brimstone and all those things. And yeah, but,
Step
no,
off
I'd
her
really
lip
rather not if you don't mind. But
and all that, it's
how dare you say you're going to shoot me in the face? That's really rather rude. I can't do accents.
Good sir.
Good sir. For those of you that don't know, to a certain community, that's an insult. You got to be a part of the community to understand. It's a leather community, let's just
I think people are going to interpret that differently, dear.
I know. That's why I said it, because it's funny. It's a leather-adjacent community.
Anyway.
Yes. Just remember, you asked me to do this. You requested my presence. That was stupid. I have at least one loyal fan that listens to me, so it's fine.
Anyway. Topic. Focus.
Yeah, right.
Oh.
Boy, you weren't kidding. It is hot out here.
But,
Yes? Boobs? What's up? You're the one that keeps getting lost. I'm not...
Because you keep yapping off-topically. We're talking about Goonies.
I was too!
Squirrel.
Shut up. Possum. 3 of them. In a trench coat.
Yeah, so... And, like, a cast that all went on to be hugely famous later on.
I mean, some of the guys did. The girls, not so much. I don't remember seeing... They did a couple of movies, I think, that I saw, but there wasn't, like...
But you got Robert Davi, Joe Pantoliano, Corey Feldman, of course, who was in everything in that year time. Sean Astin. For you younger kids, he's the dude from Lord of the Rings. From you younger kids, he's the dude from Stranger Things Season 2.
Yes, and for us grown-ups, he's also John Astin's son, who was the original Gomez.
Which is a fact you found out 2 days ago. So
I
now
know.
You're like, I know a thing.
I know a thing.
I want to say a thing.
No,
And then, of course, Thanos himself, Josh
Absolutely.
Brolin.
So hard to look at him in the makeup and realize it's the same guy. He's so different. Well, Josh Brolin was in a lot of movies too back in the day, if I remember correctly. He
Still
like,
is.
Him and Corey Feldman both did a lot of, but like teeny bopper stuff.
I'm more familiar with him like as an adult because he's made some like great. I mean, freaking what the hell is it? The Mexican drug lord movie.
Oh,
Narcos. No, it's not Narcos.
The one with Johnny Depp?
No, it's... The first one has Emily Blunt in it.
I don't know.
Anyway, that'll come to me later, because one of those things when I quit trying to think about it, it pops back in my head. And, of course, what is it? Anne Ramsey, who was, like, throw mama from the train, is like...
She's awesome.
We need a troll looking old lady in a movie.
She's awesome though. She's funny.
She was like all over the 80s.
She's funny. And then Ki Kwan.
Future Oscar winner. I mean, that dude is in like after he came back from his kind of retirement. Dude is like blown up. Like I said, his first movie back, he wins an Oscar, and then he's in Loki. He's in was it Love Hurts? He's pretty much showing up in like. He's making up for lost time because Homeboy is like showing up in absolutely everything lately.
I mean, if you can do it, might as well do it.
Yeah, who played Data, the inventor, James Bond obsessed out of the friend group.
Yeah.
I loved all his little gadgets that sometimes work, most of the time do not.
He's a child. He's awkward. So they work up to a point and then something happens.
I mean, they keep threatening to do a sequel that's not done yet.
I saw something about a trailer for a second one, but I'm assuming that's AI.
No, they've not even filmed any of that stuff. So, but if they were to not do a sequel and try to reboot this, which I don't think they will, can you imagine the toys Data could make nowadays with modern technology?
Bluetooth, the drone, missile launcher.
Yeah, you could have like a freaking drone that comes out of his belt buckle with a fist on it and stuff.
Yeah, there you go.
That was probably one of the best, one of my favorite costumes I saw at Dragon Con a few years ago. There was a guy dressed up as Data, and he had all the gadgets and everything. It was freaking awesome. It's kind of like don't see a lot of Data, Goonies cosplay.
No. Don't feel like Goonies cosplay. But you know what would have been cool? You know how when everything closed and the lockdown occurred and everything went to shit a couple of years ago? You know how they redid like a live action fan based series of Carrie Elwes.
Princess Bride?
Yes.
No, not at all.
You didn't see that?
No.
Some of the actors from the movie redid version of it in chunks at their own homes.
Like Zoom or whatnot.
Yes. But they could have done a Goonies because that would have been fun, but I guess, I don't know. Would have amused me.
And this is too, like, I mean, we'll get into like the actual details of the movie here shortly, but this is one of those movies that you could not, we said reboot, but you couldn't make this today. There are so many movies of that era that involved kids being unsupervised and going on an adventure. Because that's what we did back in the day. Like nowadays, I mean, everyone's got cell phones and trackers and shit. You're never like unsupervised.
Our children are low jack. Of course, we're low jack too, because mine asks me where I'm at when I'm not where I'm supposed to be on Life 360. Mom, why are you not at work? I am at work. Shut up.
But yeah, it's like this is kind of those very like time dependent films. Like
yes.
Now it's like you can't realistically put children in danger. Like these fucking parents nowadays, if these kids was unsupervised and went off fighting pirates, like they would all have gotten like arrested by child services.
Yeah.
But back in the day, this was just kind of normal normal behavior, you were left to wander as long as you were home before the street lights turned on.
As long as you were home before the weekend was out, that's fine. Of course, probably have a hard time filming this kind of movie now anyway, because kids aren't allowed to work like they were allowed to work back then. There was not child labor laws.
Well, if you notice, any movie they do that kind of
centers on children?
Well, not necessarily centered on children, but a child-led adventure, they either have to set them in the 80s, or they have to come up with some kind of excuse, plausibility that why these kids are unsupervised and don't have cell phones. You know, they have to they really have to like write a whole scenario to fit it, or they have to put it in a simpler time because they can't tell these stories set now. Or you have to do it in a galaxy far, far away, because pretty much that's what Star Wars Skeleton Crew was. It was Goonies in space.
Yep. Because alien kids can still roam around on their own. Just human kids can't do that.
Yeah, and
I mean, it's like the kids on Stranger Things. They just disappeared for the whole weekend, and just as long as they were at school, it's all that matters.
Yeah, because it was.
Of course, it's the
80s.
same time of the commercials, you know, that came on at 10 o'clock at night. It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are? Because we had to be reminded. Our parents had to be reminded that they're supposed to know where we're at 10 o'clock at night.
And all filmed in Astoria, Oregon, which...
Not all. I looked up the fun facts. The pirate scene and stuff were done in...
Well, no shit, that's done in a studio, but
like... in California, but...
The outside...
I think the beach scene was done somewhere else, too, but I could be wrong.
But yeah, if you're a fan of filming locations, a lot of these places still exist today. I got a buddy of mine who travels a lot for work, and he always, like, if he's in a town that a movie was filmed in, he'll go and, like, take modern photos of stuff from movies on his Instagram. And
the house is still there, and I saw an article about the pizza shop place, or arcade, or wherever Chunk was playing the video game where the police chase went by. That place is still there and operating, apparently.
Yeah, and apparently even the old county jail is there too. The one that the Fratellis break out of, which is now home to the Oregon Film Museum.
I mean, I think a lot of stuff's filmed in Oregon, isn't it?
I don't know.
It seems like a pretty common. I think most of the Twilight films are filmed there. And
I wouldn't know.
Well, I know that, but
if you need lots of rainy weather in forests, you film in Oregon.
Forests.
Mm-hmm.
Forests.
No. Forests.
No. Anyway.
So if you're not familiar with Goonies, it's the story of a bunch of kids that live in the Goondocks, and basically they're one of the rich families in town is trying to foreclose on everybody's property so they can build a new country club in the whatever the lower income area of town and run all these people off, and you know.
Which
the kids.
Pretty funny because that was like lakeside access. There was big, like, I don't know. That would be expensive property, but
that's why they were trying to take it all and kick everybody out so they can build like really, really expensive property.
Yeah,
in that area.
True.
But of course, Mikey and Brand and their friends, Mouth, Data, and Chunk, because this was the 80s and a little bit of mild bullying was okay.
That's how we bonded. That was how we bonded. Do you remember being nice to your friends? Because I wasn't nice to my friends.
I mean, there's several of my friends that, called me fat. I punched them in the face, and then we became friends after that.
True.
Because if you're going to be a sensitive fat child, you got to learn how to throw hands. And I made friends with most of my bullies after they tried to bully me, and I kicked the shit out of them. And they're like, oh, he stands up to being bullied. We should be nice to him.
That's how men bond, isn't it? Like you punch each other, and then, oh no, we're friends now. Let's go have a beer. We both have matching black eyes, so we are now buddies.
I'm just saying, a small amount of bullying was healthy back in the day.
I agree.
Made you strong. and Chunk, aka Lawrence. Have you seen him recently?
No.
Well, this pretty much, I guess, was his only movie. He got into entertainment law. He's like a big time Hollywood lawyer now.
He's like
and
entertainment lawyer.
Dude got in shape. Like, does not look anything like Chunk these days.
I mean, he was probably, 9, 10, maybe 11 at that age. So, like, a lot changes between that age and adulthood.
It's kind of funny because this movie reminds me, I mean, it's the same mom, but reminds me so much of one of my favorite movies growing up, Monster Squad.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because they had Fat Kid. It's like we had Chunk and Goonies, and they had the guy that everyone called Fat Kid in the...
Fat Kid, huh?
Yeah.
I've seen this movie. I don't remember that part, but okay.
Yeah, everyone hell, his name might even been Lawrence as well.
Lawrence is a nerd name, so it's probably, it's possible.
But yeah, the mom in this movie pretty much was like the 80s mom. She was in freaking everything.
She was basically like Suzanne Summers of the early 90s. Just
You mean
mom.
80s?
Suzanne Summers was 90s. Step by Step came out in 90, 91.
I'm talking about this lady.
Yeah, that's what I said.
You said she was the Suzanne Summers of the 90s.
Yes, Suzanne Summers was in the 90s. This is the 80s version of...
This lady would have been the Suzanne Summer of the 80s.
Okay, whatever. I know what I was saying. It made sense. You just don't understand.
No.
Yes, it did.
Not.
Oops.
Even though Monster Squad came out like 2 years later.
So like 87?
Oh no, Fat Kid was named Horace.
Oh.
So yeah, it was not also Lawrence.
I mean, that's kind of a picked on nerd name too, so...
It's also like Egyptian god, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hanging out with Khonshu.
Yeah. I don't think they got along. They didn't. None of them got along with Khonshu, at least not in the context that we're talking about.
Khonshu's kind of a dick.
Yeah, well, that's probably why I like him.
Oh.
I like dickheads.
But yeah, to save their neighborhood, they find a pirate treasure map hidden in the attic because their dad apparently
He works for the museum.
and stores a bunch of leftover props. And they decide, is their only chance to save the neighborhood? And so they run off on their bicycles on a epic.
I mean, you didn't ever try to treasure hunt when you were a kid, because I think we all did.
Sure, but I never had an actual map.
Well, no, it kind of made that up on our own. Kind of like the dig into China. You're gonna go in your backyard, and start digging, and keep digging until you hit China.
I mean, actually,
I think
there's.
everybody does try it.
I mean, they've never found anything, but they've always been rumors that because we're here in Georgia, Sawney Mountain. There's supposed to be buried gold somewhere in Sawney Mountain that the Indians buried their gold up there before they got removed during the trail of tears. So there's been times where people have tried to track down a little gold up there in them hills, but so far no buried treasure has been found.
Well, Georgia was a secondary gold rush location, so.
Actually, it was the first gold rush before California.
Oh, well, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I'm not a history buff.
I mean, we still have a gold mine here in Dahlonega.
True.
Still need to go take the tour.
True. What? There's a big ant. I got distracted. Really big ant. Anyway. Where the fuck were we?
So anyway, yeah.
I got a question.
What?
Why do you call the Jeep an ORV?
Off-road vehicle.
It's a Jeep. They're all off-road vehicles. I don't know. The distinction was weird for me. So why I saw this really neat ORV. No, you saw a Jeep. I don't know.
Our off-road recreational vehicle is what he... But then again, that may be a Northwestern thing. Down here we just call them Jeeps or 4x4s.
True. I don't know.
Which I'm pretty sure this movie might have been, because back in the day, it's like there was huge companies that would basically pay movies to put their vehicles in their movies and stuff. And I'm pretty sure General Motors was the chief sponsor, because other than the Jeep and whatever Troy's car was, there was a lot of
I look like a Chrysler LeBaron to me.
a lot of Chevy products featured, especially when the Fratellis break out of prison, and they got an old Jeep Cherokee that they're running from the cops from. The whole point of them having a Jeep Cherokee is that they've decided to blend in on a beach 4x4 race, and pretty much other than their car, everything else in there looked to be like a early 80s Chevy truck or GMC truck.
How do you accidentally how do you make it look like you hung yourself and manage to get away with that, but you can't open the car door to get in the car before you try to escape prison or jail?
Because I used to have one of those. The engines were solid. It was everything else on the vehicle that would fall apart.
Yeah, I had one
I had
too.
so many electrical problems in that thing.
I had
it was
one too. It's the windshield wipers. The windshield wipers and the windows always go.
Oh no, the AC went out, and then also you couldn't roll down the windows.
I had power windows.
The
you
power
could not
windows
roll.
went
Yeah,
out.
the power windows go. You can't have a Jeep that has power windows at work.
So yeah, it's entirely possible that he was hitting the button, and his brother just wasn't fucking with him, and it wouldn't open. That's entirely plausible for that model of Jeep.
Yeah, podunk little town sheriff can't bother to get outside to catch the guy, and it's not like he was even in prison; he was in jail.
Yeah, because that was supposed to be a county jail.
Yeah.
He was probably awaiting trial. He hadn't been shipped off to prison yet. Like the little note he left, he's like, "You're a real dumbass if you think I actually killed myself, huh?" And he's like, knocks him out.
But I can't get in the car door open to get in a car. I got to jump through the sunroof.
You pull a Dukes of Hazzard.
Slide across the hood.
Yeah. Now you got to jump through the window. I used to have a buddy who had a car that the passenger side door didn't work, and we used to have to Dukes of Hazzard it to get in his car.
Why not climb into the driver's seat and scoot across?
Because he was in the driver's seat, and it was like bucket seats too.
Oh. I mean, it's difficult. It's not impossible.
It was also a convertible too, so it was a little bit easier to run up and jump over the door and get in.
Take T-tops out first and then get in.
Convertible, not T-tops.
Oh.
And it was an old Chrysler LeBaron. Bring it back around.
That's what Troy was driving. That's what it looked like to me, because I wanted one when I was like 16, so I think it was a Chrysler LeBaron.
And I always appreciate the set decoration in this movie. Like once they get into the catacombs trying to find the pirate stuff, everything's done like practically. I mean, it looks like, really good. Like the freaking skeleton organ that they have to play correct notes on to unlock the door, and the freaking whatever,
the chained up boulders kind of looks like,
and the water slide, and the inside of the wishing well, where it's like
kind of look like some Indiana Jones shit a little bit.
Yeah, like, oh, we got gold and stuff. I don't know, when was that pirate map? I don't know, like 200 years ago. Well, this is a freaking penny. It's like, so I don't think this is the treasure.
This has Abraham Lincoln on it. It's not right.
And you got to know, if you go up Troy's bucket, it's all over.
Yeah.
You never want to go up Troy's bucket.
You can't go up Troy's bucket.
'Cause up there it's their time. Down here it's our time.
It's our time down here. You got to give Sean Astin some props, because even as a little kid, he managed to.
Even Corey Feldman had some like dramatic moments where he's like,
Corey Feldman's awesome.
where they like start gathering up the change, and someone's like, no, you can't do that. These are all people's dreams. Like, fine, but I'm keeping this one because this was my dream and it didn't come true. So I'm taking all my dreams back and get me about $350.
I don't know. Depending on how long Wishing Well's been there, I mean, if you can see it all still glittering, there's probably a lot. Look like one of those machines at the arcade where all the quarters pile up at the edge, and then you gotta.
It never falls.
Yep. Because all the shelves and cracks and crevices were full of change. So, like, yeah, there's some money down there.
And the traps and the whole, like, kind of Rube Goldberg-esque, or even, like, we know Data and his family are inventors, but, yeah, Mikey's got the automatic gate opening device that's dependent on scaring a chicken. Which I always thought that was funny in weird Rube Goldberg devices.
Here's what gets me. We haven't started packing. We're there foreclosing on our house. The whole house is still everything. All the tchotchkes are still sitting there. David's still sitting there on the coffee table. We're losing our house, but ain't nobody packed.
I didn't even think about that. They're like, yeah, this is our last night in the boondocks, and it's like, yeah, y'all have not even like started.
Yeah, nothing's been touched. Yet. And we went to the grocery store, so where are we going to put we're going to the grocery store and get bags of groceries while we're at it.
I mean, you're signing the papers like the next day, and it's like, yeah, it's like this is our last day or last weekend, and it's like, yeah, y'all even started packing, and then you got, they bring in Rosalita, and it's like we went and hired this Spanish maid to help us pack, and. Hell, she didn't even start packing. They immediately go to the grocery store.
Yep, because the fridge is good. We're still going to have a fridge. Did you know that?
And that whole thing with mouth, like, oh, she's like, does any of y'all speak Spanish? Oh yeah, I speak fluent Spanish, ma'am. And it starts going around. He's like, hell, tell her this, and like the
marijuana in the top drawer, cocaine and speed in the second drawer, heroin in the bottom.
Always separate your drugs.
This is where Mr. Walsh hides his sex toys.
Oh no, he called them sexual torture devices.
Yeah, that's right. But the sex dungeon is up in the attic because, the big heavy furniture, that's where you put it. That's why the sex dungeon goes in the basement, because you need something to support the big heavy, cross of whatever it's called. And
the Vietnamese shame wheel.
Yeah, that. Not that. The other one, the X cross thing. What's it called? The X thing, you know what I'm talking about? Don't look at me like that. It has cuffs at the top.
Wakanda forever.
I'm not. This is Wakanda forever. It's the X cross thing that you. I
Rack?
know. Yeah, no. God damn it. I know what I'm talking about. There was one of them, 50 Shades of Grey. It's in a lot of movies.
Anyway, yeah. Pirate things in the attic with the sex toys.
Yeah, pirate things in the attic with the sex toys. Pirate things to one side, sex toys in the other.
Oh, yeah. When he's sticking his like tongue through the painting, going, "Hey, come here, give me a thubby kiss." I was like, man, there's so many dirty things in this movie that I did not understand when I was a child. On freaking Chunk's story when he's getting interrogated by the Fratellis, and he's like, the worst thing I ever did was
St. Andrew's cross.
Okay.
The bondage cross. Thank you.
That whole segment, I found this. I got this fake vomit, and I took it to the movie theater, and I went up in the balcony, and I made this sound, and then I dumped it over, and then everyone started puking on each other. I felt so bad. And then the criminal started going, I'm starting to like this kid. He's fucked up.
Yeah, we might need to adopt him. He's funny. Then you see poor Chunk locked in the basement because he's a little different. And then you find out Mom's dropped him like a lot. Only dropped you a couple of times. Well, I only dropped you once. No, maybe it was a couple of times.
And that's another thing that we probably couldn't do these days. Yeah.
No, you can't do that these days. You can't show deformed people like that.
No, you can't have a giant football player pretending to be disabled. You would have to find someone who was actually disabled to fill that role, or you would get protested. It's
true. You get canceled for that.
It's like instead of blackface, it's like, yeah.
I know there's a word for it, but I don't know.
R-word face.
No. Mentally deficient or mentally handicapped. I don't know. I don't think you can say handicapped anymore either. I don't know. We don't care about those PC things on here because half this podcast would have been blacklisted by now.
Oh yeah, I'm just like, you should just change the name to the canceled podcast.
Yeah, pretty much. Everything, half the things we say would be caught.
I'm surprised we've not gotten canceled yet.
Get a couple of NFCA rating or warnings or whatever.
The what?
Whatever the radio station.
FCC.
FCC. Thank you.
I was like, NAACP. What?
No. Wrong.
That's what it sounded like you were trying to say. Oh
God, we're going to hell.
ACLU, NRA. I don't know. There's a lot of acronyms out there in the world. We've probably offended half of them. So.
True. At least. Ask me if I'm worried about it. Internet is the devil, but it's also the freest of free speech. My mama said internet is the devil. My mama said podcasts are the devil.
True enough.
My mama said podcast hosts are the devil and they're going to lead me straight to hell, but I did it anyway. Mama told me not to.
One of the things too, speaking of set decoration and practical effects, is like they legitimately built a damn pirate ship. Like that whole cave with the ship in the water was like, they literally built that. And if you watch the kids' reactions when they slide down the tunnel, aka water slide, which after watching that, man, I really want to go to Whitewater again.
Yeah, which somehow has 6 different openings for kids to pop out of different ones, even though they all went down the same one.
It was branching tunnels.
Oh, okay.
But
speaking of Whitewater, did you see how blue and green the water was? It's just like Whitewater under all the rides.
Yeah, because it's like a swimming pool on a soundstage somewhere that they've built. Which, yeah, I was like, I want to ride I hadn't been on a water slide in a while. That looked fun. But anyway, they built this set and did not show any of the actors the pirate ship, so they had no idea that they built a full-size pirate ship. So their reaction when they come out of the water and see the pirate ship for the first time is like real reactions. They purposely kept the kids off of that set until it was time to film on it, just to get that shot of them going, holy shit.
Well, I'd have looked like that too. I'd have looked like that too. Be like, wow, this is cool. I said, screw going home. I'm not saving the house. We're taking the pirate ship and gone. That's it.
We're gonna get all the rich stuff.
We're set for life. We're going to throw the bodies overboard, except the ones we want to keep for decor, because I'm sick and twisted. But other than that, the captain can stay. He sacrificed his own men. He didn't care about them anyway, so we can toss them overboard.
And the poor
Did you see the dude with the daggers in his eyes? That was awesome.
But it was like 2. Like he got him with both eyes, and he still slumped over the wheel of the pirate ship. Yeah.
It's like the old cartoons when they see the old wolf cartoons when they'd see a hot girls and the eyes would bug out. That's what it looked like, except these were daggers.
And of course, Sean Astin pulls a sword out of a guy's chest. She's like, "What are you doing? Put that down." He's like,
"He's dead.
He's dead. He's not gonna care."
He says it's disrespectful. No, removing the sword that killed him from when he was double crossed by his own captain. No, that's probably not disrespectful.
Yeah, and when this is the slapstick humor too of the Fratellis that keep they were running like a Three Stooge bit pretty much through the whole movie. Like the two brothers just constantly.
Well, they look the same age. They may have all been triplets. It may have been triplets that just sort of.
Or when they don't believe Chunk that everyone went into the fireplace and until the
bats come
flying out and they're like, "Watch your hair!" And Francis actually pulls his toupee off and sticks it in his jacket.
Remember we were going to get your teeth fixed and we used the money on Francis's toupee? And I don't wear a hairpiece. Mom, watch your hair. Mom, watch your hair. But he's got his clung to his chest
Which is funny because when I first saw that, I was like, oh, there's Joe Pantalone with hair. I haven't seen that in a long time. And then nope, he still didn't have hair. He just was tooped up in this movie.
God, I didn't even remember that's who that was.
Yeah, as you said, the captain in Bad Boys.
Yep.
Captain Howard.
Mm-hmm.
Also a big cigar smoker.
He was
pretty
in
much
a lot of things,
smokes
too.
cigars in most of the things he's in.
As you should. You want to live forever? No.
That's the Robert Davi, who's like...
Who was that?
He was the other brother, Jake.
Oh, the opera singing one.
Yeah. But that dude's been in a shitload of things, and he has not aged. He looks exactly the same as he did in 1985.
He bulked up and played a villain on something that was fairly popular, but I don't remember what it was.
I don't know. He's been like, we need a mafia guy in a movie, and it's like, if we need a vaguely mafia Italian guy in a movie, that's that's who they get.
Fucking throw Mama from the train. Jesus Christ. Jesus. That's some old shit. What?
I don't know. We're talking about Robert.
You were
Davi
talking about the family, and I fixated on the mother. It's like, throw
throw
Mama from the train.
Mama from the train. All right.
It's like that other movie, My Mom... Don't Stop or My Mom Will Shoot, but that was a Stel Getty. That wasn't.
And Stallone.
Mm-hmm. That was a funny movie. Maybe
Squirrel.
Maybe you should have done this solo. I'm kind of fucking it up.
Yeah, so Pirates.
Yeah, you might want to keep talking. Actually, that movie that was playing when Chunk was chained to the wall, I've seen parts of that movie. That's supposed to be a really famous, like, 50s version. The pirate movie that was playing. Yeah. It's supposed to be a really big famous movie from like the 50s. Like one of the first.
Probably an Earl Flynn movie.
Something like that. I think so. And then he had that Oakland Raiders shirt on because he had won 2 Super Bowls with the Oakland Raiders.
What is his name?
I can't remember now. I looked it up earlier, but. And then they said it was the Superman shirt, the altered Superman shirt, was a nod to the director because he had also directed Superman.
Yeah, that was Donner. Yeah, Richard Donner also directed the first Superman movie, which came out in '79. I think the first one was.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. God, I get the hiccups. Oh Lord.
Yeah, Chunk. Freaking
Hell, that may have been his name from the team. Who knows?
Chunk, Sloth. Yeah, watching pirate movies and stuff, and when him and Chunk escape and go to save the boys on the ship, you know, like, hey, you guys, and comes in like, you know, sliding down the
canopy.
Sails with the knife in it, just like in the movie. And he's I'm Captain Chunk.
Technically, sailcloth is pretty thick, so like you could probably do that. I don't know if you could do it with somebody else hanging on your back, but like sailcloth is pretty thick. Speaking of sailcloth and shit, all the rope is not. None of the rope has disintegrated. All the rope holding all the boulders up, all the rope sitting there waiting to be sliced before the boulders drop. None of the rope's disintegrated. That's magic rope.
It's naval rope. It's not made out of like the crap that we have today. It's made out of hemp and whatnot. It's more durable.
The anchor was being pulled up by a rope. Okay, that's not right. That's supposed to be Jane.
I mean, the wood would have probably have rotted away by now.
True. The bottom of the ship is rotted completely. There is no bottom of the ship anymore.
Well, maybe the
couple of 100 years later.
Well, maybe the
it was treated water. That's why it was green. It's fine.
The cave was particularly
well,
sheltered.
Yeah, it was weatherproof. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no sun getting in and rotting things. It's fine.
And John Matsusaka.
Say what?
Sloth. John MatusZak was the actor who played Sloth.
Now I'm kind of curious to look up and see what he looked like without the makeup.
I think he's been in some like other movies too. Oh yeah, he's been in a. Now that I see his face, yeah, he's been in a few things.
Mm-hmm. He's a big dude. Was he stunt actor?
No, he was a football player.
Well, I know that.
And then, yeah, he was in a bunch of shit that Ice Pirates. But he was also in a bunch of TV stuff too. He was on the A-Team, Miami Vice, The Dirty Dozen, Perfect Strangers, Superboy.
Was he one of the bad guys in?
He was in a couple episodes
Weird
of Fall
Science?
Guy,
One of the biker guys in Weird Science.
Dukes of Hazzard, MASH. Anytime they needed a big dude to do something, he was in there.
So he's kind of like John Cena now.
Very much. But he died in not long after this movie came out. He passed away in '89 at 38.
Damn.
Kind of young.
Well, you play football, you get hit in the head a lot. And they didn't know a whole lot about head injury back in the day. But how bad it fucked you up.
Apparently it was an overdose.
Oh, well, that'll do it too. Cocaine's a hell of a drug. That's why it goes in the second drawer down. Anyway.
So, yeah. Where were we?
I don't know. There's lots of dead time in this particular one.
Fucking squirrels, man.
I don't know.
Yeah, when Data uses his slick shoes to slip the
You just got to hose of motor oil, run it up each pant leg to attach to your shoes.
Just the freaking when he slips and does the backflip straight to his nuts. It was like, are you okay? No.
Mama Fratelli ain't having no grandkids.
Yeah. Oh, and then freaking Data like falls like. I like he has that breakdown when they finally get on the ship where he falls through the planks. He'd already almost fallen on the spikes and saved himself with the pinchers of peril, and then he almost fell when they were doing the musical thing, and he's like, I'm tired of all this falling in danger. It's like I fall 3 times, no one cares.
He had to have his dramatic moment too, because all the kids had to have their own dramatic monologue, you know. Each kid got their own where they were.
And little, Sean Astin making out with his brother's girlfriend because she didn't want to open her eyes.
He was standing in a hole somewhere.
He seemed awfully short, and I didn't know he had braces.
If you don't know if your boyfriend has braces or not, he's not your boyfriend.
Well, technically, she was Troy's girlfriend. This was a new.
Well, he did say at the beginning of the movie he had a date with her on the Friday there, so she was running around behind her boyfriend's back, or they were just kind of casual.
Well, he failed his driver's test, so now he's like stuck. She's like, nah.
And she was wearing another dude's sweater, so that is kind of.
I'm a rich girl. I can't date a guy who's on a child's bicycle.
I mean, she could go get her license, but I don't think she was 6 or 17 yet, though. She was only 16.
Who knows?
I don't know.
But of course, the Fratellis take all the gold, and except for the bag of jewels that's stuffed in a Mouth's marble bag.
Or no, Mikey's marble bag. Mouth had a whole fucking string of pearls that went on forever, and then
she's like
all these diamonds and gems.
She's making them all empty their pockets, and he's like, aren't you the one they call Mouth? Like, why aren't you saying anything now? She's like, no. She like freaking pulls this giant pearl necklace and then slaps him in the back of the head, a bunch more jewels. She's like, Jesus, like. Had like so much stuff stuck in his mouth.
Swallow him, man. Swallow him. You'll get him back later.
But yeah, luckily that, and then of course, Fratellis get greedy and set off the final trap that basically releases the ship back into the wild. But the kids manage to take enough jewels that they could pay off everybody's mortgages and save the Goondocks. But I'm like, dude, let's somebody grab a jet ski or something. Let's go stop that ship, or at least follow it until it sinks so we can know where to go get the rest of the treasure.
Somebody call the Coast Guard, because we're going after the ship. We'll buy the whole fucking town.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, somebody go catch that ship.
Kind of makes you wonder how ownership rights work then, because like...
We follow it till it's in international waters, and then no one can
Yep.
lay claim to it. We can just take it.
Well, you didn't see anybody taking the diamonds from the maid either. They're like, oh yeah, look, we found all these gems, rubies and emeralds and all these things, and they're going to pay off everybody's mortgage. But
yeah, they do that, and then the feds show up and like try to charge them tax on all the.
yeah,
They still end up losing the properties and shit. That's what happens in the sequel. It's like the fucking feds are auditing us because we paid off all our debt with found diamonds, and we got to pay income tax on this shit. So we still lose the lose all the money.
well, technically, if the kids found the ship still belongs to the kids. I mean, as long as it doesn't get as far as international waters, because then anybody can.
Finders, keepers, losers, weepers, something like that.
Something.
So, any particular favorite moments we've not yet discussed?
You're not supposed to say the truffle shuffle, even though it is funny because it's wrong, but it's still funny. But him smashing the pizza and the
Getting so excited watching a police chase.
yeah,
Squishes his pizza and his Pepsi.
and then of course, well, Lawrence, you said there was these little creatures that you shouldn't throw water on, and like,
Yeah, when he finally tries to, since he's kind of the town liar, when he tries to call the cops to let him know that they're being held by bank robbers, and he's like, "Oh, is this like, you know?"
why bother rob banks if you're counterfeiting your own money in the basement already?
But it's like, oh, like the time you told us there's a bunch of little creatures that you feed after midnight. Yeah, okay, well this time I'm actually telling the truth.
Yep. Well, same universe. Steven Spielberg is the same universe, technically.
Yeah, the truffle shuffle.
I don't know if you noticed, but the fucking kid that when Data slides down into the other kid's house, it's like a block of wood on a clothesline that's tied up there with string. It's like a good thing you don't weigh very much. You would be dead.
Yeah, with all his inventions, he needs to invent a helmet for.
Yeah.
Oh. Speaking of Richard Donner and Superman references, I'm pretty sure Chunk's outfit looks a lot like, I can't remember his name, but Lex Luthor's sidekick in Superman.
Huh?
Original Superman.
I don't remember the original Superman.
Well, back in the 70s,
Uh-huh.
or late 70s, there was Lex Luthor, and Lex Luthor had a henchman played by Ned Beatty.
Okay.
And Chunk's outfit, I'm pretty sure, is very close to something he wore.
The Hawaiian shirt?
Yes, the
stuff?
Hawaiian shirt and
with
the golf
plaid
pants.
Yeah.
Very similar to something that he
okay.
wore in Superman. I may be completely off base with that, but yeah, I just got like young Ned Beatty vibes
maybe,
off of him.
I mean, you're the expert on the Hawaiian shirt.
From Superman, and not from that other movie he's in. He's the guy from Deliverance.
Oh.
The one that squeals like a pig.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah, but like the. Oh yeah, and like there's. I noticed some mistakes in watching it today when the kids are all telling the family about the adventure. Data's like, and then the squid was like really scary.
Yeah.
The octopus was like really scary, and you're looking at me like, what octopus? I'm like, well, there's a deleted scene that there was supposed to be like an octopus in that lagoon that attacked the kids when they first get there.
Yeah, I looked it up and saw it.
It did not make the final cut, but yeah, he still.
I guess we saw that scene before we decided that it went to the cutting room floor.
Yeah, still talked about it in the final.
And then
bit.
you get the two Fratelli brothers fighting each other 24/7 because, of course, if you had an Italian mother and you don't ever leave her, the two of you are going to end up fighting eventually.
That's what brothers do.
Yeah.
And they're gangster brothers, so they keep pulling guns on each other. That's how you know they're brothers. They'll point a gun at each other, but they don't actually shoot each other.
It's okay. Mom pulls a gun on him, too.
And Mom was rocking that like 44 Magnum too. She was like, yeah,
Mom was a gangster.
rocking the hand cannon until she drops it in the pirate ship because of
fucking gangster with a beret and pearls.
Data's malfunctioning toys, and so they got to pull out the pirate swords. Which, yeah, I mean, there was a lot more kids than there were gangsters. Once they lost their guns, they should have just like started throwing hands.
Bum rush him. I mean,
yeah, push him off the ship.
She threw the girl off the ship with her hands tied, and instead he's like, "Move, get out, not move, but push the bitch off and go."
Yeah, should have clotheslined Granny on the way to the.
Yeah, push the bitch off and go.
To jump off the pirate ship.
Yeah. I mean, you don't expect a whole lot of mercy from some old lady that has already held a gun to her both of her children at that point. It's like, no, fuck you. Get your ass down there. I'm going to shoot you myself.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're doing all those exercises. Can't just punch an old lady in the face. I mean,
I guess not.
She already pulled a gun on you. I think like the whole like chivalry portion is like right out the window.
Yeah.
Just like elbow strike her in the face as you're running by.
I'm saying.
And you got Mouth's like flirting style where him and whatever Martha Plimpton. It's like you're what the hell.
Your looks are kind of pretty when your face doesn't screw it up.
And she says something to him like your voice is kind of nice when your mouth doesn't screw it up.
I think that was like a resting bitch face reference. It's like, yeah, you look pretty when you're not looking like a bitch. Not gonna lie, I've heard that a couple of times or two.
It's like only like you're very sweet when you're not being a cunt.
Yep.
It's one of those like backhanded compliments.
The idea is to do the compliment sandwich. You put a compliment and then an insult and then a compliment. That's how it works.
Mm. We have a term for that in instruction. It's called praise, correction, praise.
Yeah.
When somebody's fucking up something, you tell them something nice they did, you fix the thing they did wrong, and then you give them another compliment to
positive reinforcement. Anyway. What? What?
So you think we're actually going to get a sequel to this? I mean, with like fucking Top Gun and...
I mean, it's been 1,000 years and they've had all the opportunity, but they're also,
But yeah,
Mel Brooks is doing a sequel now, finally, so...
Yeah, like the, whatchamacallit, long-term, very late sequels have kind of become very popular recently. We've got a lot of like
got away, and now their kids have to go find it. Mouth and Andy, or Mouth and what's her name's kids got to go find it. And Sloth is immortal because why would he not be? And he's going with him.
Well,
they became a marine biologist, and they're going to find it underneath.
Well, this is off of Wikipedia, so take it with a grain of salt. But as of January, it was reported to Dateline that Warner Brothers was developing a sequel to Goonies, and in February it was announced that Goonies 2 was officially in the works. So, we shall see.
I don't know. Believe that one when I see it.
Yeah. So, as we kind of wrap things up here, this Notorious cigar, like I said, it's pretty good for a celebrity brand. It starts off kind of cedary and peppery, and then kind of as you progress, it gets a little more coffee and nutty, toast nutty, and then gets kind of just a little bit of like dark chocolate and dried fruits, raisiny toward the end. So it's very kind of complex blend that changes throughout the cigar. So for something that kind of assumed was a novelty cigar when I picked it up, it's pretty damn good smoke. So yeah, you should check out Notorious.
I don't know if raisiny is something I would ever want to use to describe something I want.
It's sweet without being like sugary.
Oh, okay.
It's like a dried fruit sweet, like a dark chocolate where it's sweet, but it's a little bit of bitterness to it.
Okay. Sweet, but not
Like a
overpowering.
mocha, like espresso mocha, that kind of chocolatey, like a nice Guinness, which makes sense since Irish and whatnot. Damn, should got me a Guinness to pair with this. That would have. But that's all we got for you this week. We'll be right back with some nerd news. And you've been watching the Cigar Nerds podcast. Check us out on cigarnerdpodcast.com and on the ESO Network, esonetwork.com. And don't forget, smoke them if you got them. Like, comment, and subscribe.